Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.
Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Uzma Jafri. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 24th of May. India welcomes Prime Minister Modi's huge election win. Bomb kills senior cleric, leaves several injured at Afghan mosque. And Sri Lanka's hardline Buddhist monk walks out of jail after presidential pardon. And now for all the details. Indians on Friday welcomed Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Bharatiya Janata Party or BJP's huge victory in the general election. From just 2 seats in the parliament in 1984 to winning 2 back-to-back majority in general elections, the BJP has firmly taken the centre stage of India's political landscape.
Indians across the country on Friday welcomed Prime Minister Narendra Modi's huge victory in the general election. People were hopeful that with Modi and his Bharatiya Janata Party coming to power, good times were going to come under his leadership. On Thursday, with announcement of results, celebrations erupted across India. Some residents expressed that they were happy that Modi had won, as no Prime Minister had worked the way he has been working for the prosperity of the country, not only on national but also international level.
सर भाजपा की जीत पर यही कहना है कि अगर देश को आगे बढ़ना तो सिर्फ मोदी चाहिए और बीजेपी है तो मोदी है और मोदी है तो बीजेपी है इसके आगे कोई शब्द ही नहीं हिंदुस्तान के लिए.
Official data from the Election Commission showed Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party was ahead in 303 of the 542 seats available, up from 282 it won in 2014.
न्यूज़पेपर में देख के लोगों को ये महसूस हो रहा है कि वास्तव में जो उनकी इच्छा थी, जो वो चाहते थे, जो उम्मीद करते थे, उसके अनुरूप रिजल्ट आया और जनता में काफ़ी खुशी है और उम्मीद भी ज़्यादा है क्योंकि इस उम्मीद से सबने ये देखना चाहते थे ऐसा हो.
The BJP would have the first back-to-back majority in the lower house of parliament for a single party since 1984. The party handed a heavy defeat to the opposition Congress party and other regional parties. Later on Friday, Prime Minister Modi was expected to meet with his ministers to discuss forming a new cabinet.
Security forces gunned down the leader of an alqaeda affiliated terror group in Pulwama district of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province, police said on Friday. This comes 2 days after 2 terrorists belonging to Pakistan-based Hizbul Mujahideen terror group were neutralized in an encounter in Kulgam district of the province.
Security forces gunned down the leader of an alqaeda-affiliated terror group in Pulwama district of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir, police said on Friday. The 25-year-old Zakir Rashid Bhatt was trapped by the security forces in a 3-story house in Tral area of the district late on Thursday, a police officer said, adding that the house was set ablaze during the operation. This comes 2 days after 2 terrorists belonging to Hizbul Mujahideen terror group were gunned down by the security forces in an encounter in Kulgam district of the province on Wednesday.
That encounter has ended. In the encounter, 1 terrorist was killed who has been identified as Zakir Rashid Bhatt alias Jakir Musa, and forces de-inducted safely. Post-operation, the security scenario has been managed well.
India has long accused Pakistan of arming and infiltrating the terrorists across the border to spread unrest in Kashmir Valley. Pakistan denies the allegations.
Indian defense experts on Thursday said Pakistan was sending contradictory signals after Islamabad conducted a training launch of a surface-to-surface ballistic missile. The ballistic missile Shaheen-2 fully meets strategic needs for maintenance of deterrent stability in the region, Pakistan's military said in a statement.
Indian defense experts on Thursday said Pakistan was sending contradictory signals after Islamabad conducted a training launch of a surface-to-surface ballistic missile. In a possible warning to India, Pakistan announced that it had carried out a training launch of ballistic missile Shaheen-2, which it said fully meets its strategic needs towards maintenance of a deterrent stability in the region. However, later in the day, Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan congratulated his Indian counterpart Narendra Modi for winning a second term after a huge election victory and said he hoped to work together for peace and progress in South Asia.
So it's a contradictory signal. At one point of side, you're trying to extend the hand of friendship, and on the other side, you're telling them that we are standing by and we are in a position to deter any offensive by your side. India has always and every time wanted a dialogue with Pakistan, but we have very clearly made Pakistan aware as to what are our conditions.
Will Pakistan Prime Minister act on what he is saying? And is he has the capability and the accountability and responsibility to act that way? Will he act against terrorism? Will he act against ISI? That's the question. If he is able to do it, we welcome him. We want peace in Southeast Asia countries.
The training launch of the missile, capable of delivering conventional and nuclear weapons at a range of up to 1,500 miles, follows heightened tensions between the nuclear-armed neighbours India and Pakistan since February over a deadly terror attack claimed by a Pakistan-based terror group.
In news from Afghanistan, a bomb exploded in a mosque in Afghan capital Kabul during Friday prayers, killing at least 3 people, including an eminent preacher, and wounding at least 20 men who had gathered for worship. No group immediately claimed responsibility for the attack.
A bomb exploded in a mosque in the Afghan capital Kabul during Friday prayers, officials said, killing 3 people including a senior preacher and wounding at least 20 men who had gathered for worship. The preacher, Samiullah Rehan, was a supporter of the Western-backed Afghan government, which Taliban militants are trying to bring down. Police said explosives were apparently placed near the altar of the Al-Taqwa Mosque, a place used by the mosque leader to initiate the prayers. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack, but the Taliban and Islamic State fighters regularly stage attacks in the capital. The explosion hit at a time when dozens of men had gathered for prayers. The death toll could rise, said a second official.
More on news from Afghanistan. Tensions remained high in Afghan parliament for the 5th day after some lawmakers brawled on May 18th over the election of a new speaker for the House. The incident underscored the turmoil in Afghan politics ahead of presidential elections in September.
Tensions remain high in Afghanistan's lower house of parliament after some lawmakers in the legislative body engaged in a brawl on May 18th over the election of a new speaker for the House. 3 days back, opposing lawmakers, with some supporting Kamal Nasir Osuli, a candidate for the seat of parliament speaker, refused to endorse his rival candidate Mir Rahman Rahmani, who was declared winner after a voting session on May 18th. Rahmani fell short of a majority by a single vote in the 247-member House, triggering a clash between supporters who declared him the winner and opponents who said he had not secured the necessary 124 votes.
در مطابقت با ماده 106 قانون اساسی تصمیم گرفتیم و از این تصمیم خود دفاع کردنی هستیم. اما امروز تالار عمومی چه فیصله میکنه اون مربوط به وکلاست.
متاسفانه موضوع به بحث قومی کشیده شده و یک عده از این حالت استفاده میکنن و واقعا خانه ملت رو به چالش کشوندن.
The incident underscored the turmoil in Afghan politics ahead of presidential elections in September. Results of last October's parliamentary election were only finalized earlier this month after repeated technical and organizational problems and widespread accusations of fraud.
In news from Sri Lanka, a Sri Lankan hardline Buddhist monk accused of inciting violence against ethnic minority Muslims and convicted of contempt of court walked free from jail on Thursday after a presidential pardon. His pardon came a week after extremist Buddhists attacked Muslim-owned homes, mosques and shops in apparent reprisal for the Easter Sunday bombings by Islamist militants.
A Sri Lankan hardline Buddhist monk Galagoda Atte Nyanasara, who is accused of inciting violence against ethnic minority Muslims and was convicted of contempt of court, walked free from jail on Thursday after a presidential pardon. Hundreds of his followers and dozens of monks waited for hours outside Velikada prison in Sri Lankan capital Colombo to see him. Some of his followers carried a distorted national flag, which excluded the green and orange color strips which represent ethnic minority Tamils and Muslims, who together account for nearly a quarter of country's 22 million population.
අවසානයේදී අප මේ රට හමුවේ හෙළිදරව් කළ කරුණු සත්‍ය වුණා. විශාල වේදනාවක් අපට ඇති වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ කොහොම වුණත් අපට ඊටාම ඉවසීමෙන් ඉදිරි කාලයේදී කටයුතු කරන්නට වෙනවා. කලබල වෙන්නේ නැතුව ඊටාම ඉවසීමෙන් සහ දූරදර්ශීව ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්න වෙනවා මේ රට වෙලා ගනිමින් තියෙන අන්තවාදයන් පරාජය කිරීමට.
The monk's pardon came a week after extremist Buddhists attacked Muslim-owned homes, mosques and shops in apparent reprisal for the Easter Sunday bombings by Islamist militants that killed more than 250 people.
As parts of India are grappling with extremely hot weather conditions, a car owner in western Ahmedabad city has come up with a unique idea to beat the heat by coating her car with a layer of cow dung. Cow dung is traditionally applied to the floors and walls in homes in rural India to insulate them from heat in summers.
A resident of India's western Ahmedabad city has coated her car completely with cow dung to cool it down amid rising temperatures. Sejal Shah has come up with the innovative way to stay cool while driving and to avoid the use of air conditioner, which she says harms the environment. Shah has also used cow dung for the flooring of her house, which is a traditional practice in India. A paste made up with mixture of mud and cow dung helps insulate from heat and doesn't smell unpleasant.
In my house, actually, I've used the cow dung in my room, in the floor for the flooring. So, with that experience, I thought, okay, when it is heat, when it is summer, I get coolness from that, and when it is winter, I get warmness from that. From that, I thought, okay, why not? I should do something for my car.
Temperatures soar in many parts of western India during this time of the year. The heat, though tolerable, caused moderate health concern for people, including infants and elderly.
The sellers of religious items in India's southern Coimbatore city have been doing brisk business during the holy month of Ramadan as people are thronging shops to purchase items required for prayers and religious use. During Ramadan, Muslims around the world fast from sunrise to sunset and devote a majority of their time to prayers and charity.
The sellers of religious items in India's southern Tamil Nadu province have been doing brisk business during the holy month of Ramadan, as people are thronging shops to purchase items required for prayers and religious use. The markets in Coimbatore city have been flooded with skull caps, prayer beads, perfumes, mats and religious books. The shops are stacked up with colorful products to attract the customers.
நன்மைகள் அதிகமாக கிடைக்கக்கூடிய மாசங்கிறதுனால இஸ்லாமிய சமுதாய மக்கள் எல்லாரும் நோன்பு வச்சிட்டு அதிகமாக தொப்பி போட்டு குர்ஆன் வாங்கிட்டு அது என்ன ரேட் குர்ஆனா இருந்தாலும் சரி 300 ரூபாயில இருந்து 1500 வரைக்கும் குர்ஆன் இருக்கு அது அவங்களுக்கு பிரியப்பட்டவங்களுக்கு வாங்கி கொடுப்பாங்க.
Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. During Ramadan, Muslims around the world fast from sunrise to sunset and devote a majority of their time in prayers and charity. Muslims account for about 14% of more than 1.2 billion population of India.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.